Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. It is April 13, 2026, and today I'm going to speak about the disappearance of a coffee shop owner out of the San Francisco Bay Area. And Amy Hillyard has been missing since March 25th, right? So it's been a couple weeks already. Still no sign of her. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that. And I also want to give you a trigger warning. So this is a trigger warning, meaning, what I'm going to speak to you guys about here can be very sensitive to a lot of people. Before I continue, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who's using Spotify. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Spotify. That way, every time I make a new episode, you get a notification. And of course, thank you so much to everybody who's watching this video right now on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching and sharing and subscribing. And please share because this is about a missing person, right? So it's so crazy. It's been a couple weeks, like I said. And, I just kind of heard about this. And it's so important for us to speak about it because I know, there's a lot of people who are going through a lot of difficult times in their life right now. Besides everything else that's going on in the news, that's going on overseas and things like this, there's a lot of people struggling with many different things. One of those is also mental health, which is very huge. And sometimes, but you can say you have been noticing is that people, when they're dealing with mental health, they're kind of like afraid to share something like this because it can make somebody look down upon you, or it could be so many things, right? Not a lot of people walk around saying, I'm struggling with this type of issue. That's kind of like a very private thing. And so I'm going to talk to you guys about the disappearance of Amy. And like I said, it's been a couple weeks, so let me tell you what's going on exactly in case you haven't heard about this case. The husband of missing coffee shop owner Amy Hillyard has released new details about the disappearance, the day that she was missing, right? Her disappearance and her struggles with mental health. Okay, in an interview with the news, it says here, Chris Hillyard, and I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing the name, said that his wife disappeared while recovering from depression and anxiety. And it says here that she was grappling with the death of a close friend, along with the death of a family dog, while also caring for a relative. So, those three things are huge in somebody's life right there, right? And not only that, she's also an owner of a coffee shop. So it's, sometimes people say it's basically all at once. That is, that's a lot to handle. And let me continue to read. So it's kind of like you kind of understand. And I'm glad they're releasing these details because kind of like to get a inside view of what her mind was the day that she was missing. She actually went missing around 4:30 p.m. after going for a walk. So I'm gonna tell you more details. The husband said that his wife was on medication and attending also regular therapy at the time that she disappeared, and she was doing all the right things to heal. That's what he says. And for her to be without medication could be very dangerous. On the day she disappeared, she was attending a therapy session and walked her dog, according to the husband. In the afternoon, around 3:15 p.m., the husband found her phone, the wallet, and her handbag at their house with the back door open. And there is no real explanation for why she has gone missing. She did not leave a note behind or any other clues. The couple owns the popular Farley's Coffee with locations in Oakland and San Francisco. And her disappearance had led to an outpouring in support for family and friends. And the Oakland Police Department, the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, and volunteers conducted a search at the Skyline Gate hiking trail on April the 2nd. So a lot of people are searching for her. I cannot I can now imagine what the husband and the family is going through, especially somebody like her who was managing so many other things going on, even caring for her relative, right? Doing the business. And it's almost like some people were, I was looking at the comments already, and some people were saying maybe she just needed a little break, right? And just going through therapy and dealing with mental health, that's huge. And having to deal with everything else on top of it, it's crazy. And, it's so sad that she had to go through something like this. And let me see more details here. It says Amy disappeared on March 25th. She was last seen in surveillance footage near the Diamond Peak around 4:30 p.m. And she's just 5'4" and 120 pounds with blonde hair and hazel eyes. She was last seen wearing a white short-sleeved t-shirt and light color jeans and white sneakers. And anybody with information should call Oakland Police at 510-238-3641. So let me just tell you something. Just after reading that, I know right now, even dealing, speaking about the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, sometimes right now, I believe that when we hear about just an adult just going missing now, we immediately think it could have been a kidnapping, right? But in this case, they have the footage of her walking near the park. The husband said she just went out for a walk, right? So it's very, very sad, you guys. I don't think it's a kidnapping in this case. I always say when I speak about the Nancy Guthrie case, if it's a kidnapping, there will be a ransom note, right? There will be some type of demand, I guess you can say. And then I think about, they have two very popular coffee shops. Could have been like an angry customer that followed her that knew where she lived, but remember, they found her wallet and everything. So, it's very crazy. I wonder what's going on here. Also, the husband, which we can say that is the last person who saw her, who reported her missing, he hasn't been giving a lot of interviews. And some people were talking about that, right? He just finally, I believe, just 3 days ago, he released some information, like I was telling you guys, about how she was dealing with so much, going through therapy, getting, medication for anxiety and depression, and going through, the loss of a loved one, and caring for relatives. So he was the one who released all of that information just a couple days ago. But in this case, I know some people already know about it, but there's a lot of people like myself, I didn't even know about it, and I haven't seen anybody speak about it in the news. You probably have, but they are saying that the husband kind of like took a while to speak to the press, and you have to be so careful about that, as we have seen, because there was a case, I think it was late in the year 2025, there was a case late in the year of a woman who also went for a walk and never returned. She was supposed to go to a therapy or some type of program that she will do every Saturday morning, and there's video of her walking alongside a trail, and then she disappeared. And then the husband came on camera to create awareness of his missing wife, and people were hammering him down, basically saying, we already know who did it, because we tend to immediately assume, based on the statistics of previous crimes, right? Because you can say we already assume that it's the husband because of things that had happened in the past. And in this case that I'm referring to, that happened early in the year, late in the year, it was not the case. So I think a lot of people, I think I made a couple videos about that. So in this case, you guys, she's still missing. It's since March 25th. And, it's very shocking. There was so much going on in her life. It overwhelming, but she was part of so much also. So it's kind of like, if really somebody just decided to walk away from a role, it's very hard to leave that too. So let me see some of the comments here. Somebody said, I've been going through the Farley East coffee shop weekly, and the owner so this is a family coffee shop. I'm trying to reread this comment here. They're saying that they've been going through that coffee shop for a long time. They're saying, she lives in a very safe part of Oakland. So, And then another person says, statistically, it is usually someone known to the victim. But let's be honest, being anywhere in Oakland leaves the significant possibility of random violence. So, in my opinion, guys, in my opinion, like, I think about the last person who saw her, right? But you also think about a person who's so exposed to general public, I guess, because she has 2 businesses, right? And you're serving constantly, right? Serving, and maybe she's not there all the time, but whenever there is an issue at a business, people usually demand to speak with the owner, right? And yes, the husband is also there, but remember, they have 2 locations, not just one. So I'm sure they divided themselves within the 2. And it could have been so many things, but also there's Ring cameras. There should have been already a video of some suspicious person around where she lives, right? But the only footage that's being released right now is the footage of her walking through that park. So, it's so hard not to. We cannot jump to conclusions so fast, but it could have been so many things, right? I just find it very hard for somebody to have, kind of like to be needed so much in so many different parts of her life at this moment for her to just kind of walk away. It's almost like some people think about it like that, but it's you just gotta deal with one thing at a time, right? Obviously, not everybody's the same, but I'm just saying. Somebody says, I wouldn't blame the husband myself. How many days has she been missing? About 20 days now. That's not good. Imagine that she may have fallen somewhere in the high parks above Diamond, where she was last searched for. That could be, she could have been injured. That could also be a possibility. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. There's a whole website for her. It's called bringamyhome.com. I didn't even know about that until just now. So she went missing Wednesday, March 25th around 3 p.m. Let me see more information. In the vicinity of the Radnor Road in Oakland, California. She's 5'4", approximately 120 pounds, blonde hair and hazel eyes. And she was wearing a white short-sleeved shirt with light color jeans, like I said earlier. And just a couple of days ago, more than 700 volunteers braved the rain and went across multiple neighborhoods, knocking on doors and distributing flyers. So that's a great effort. And the reason that I'm just made that pause is because you have so many people involved, right? And you have a very this is what they're saying, it's a very safe neighborhood, and everybody in these days, they have a camera. There's always somebody recording. There's always a surveillance camera. Where are the videos of her exiting her house or coming back to get something or not, or was she seen speaking to a random person at a car, driving past the neighborhood? It could have been so many things, but I don't think it's so hard not to jump to conclusions, right? In this case, like I was saying earlier. But the last person who saw her, also, they should be looking into internet searches of her, anything that, how was their businesses doing, right? Was everything being very successful? Because after everything that he came out and released about what she was going through, to on top of that also have financial stresses on it. So I wonder, I wonder if they're gonna do more investigation. I'm glad that the searches are continuing. I'm glad there's so many people volunteering to find her. That's amazing. But I wonder, it's surprising it's also surprising that there's not more window cameras coming out of a neighbor or somebody on the neighborhood saying, "Oh yeah, she's passing by my house at this time. Remember, she went out for a walk and never heard her." So let me know guys what you think about this. Like I said, I'm gonna put the poster. Please share. Thank you guys so much for coming to the channel, and everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day everybody. God bless.